Welcome back to the Paranormal State, Washington, and UFO UAP. With Makāula Nakae, a lifelong experiencer and ET contactee since 1990. Today's episode, Trinity. The convergence of the name Trinity, the sci-fi narrative of the Matrix, and the deep-seated lore of UFOs, atomic technology, and transdimensional reality is one of the most fascinating intersections in modern mythology. Whether conscious or unconscious, the symbolism tapped into by the creators of The Matrix, Lana and Lily Wachowski, mirrors the exact psychological and historical fault lines where science, secrecy, and the paranormal collide. In historical reality, Trinity is forever cemented as the code name for the world's first nuclear detonation, tested on July 16, 1945, in the Jornada del Muerto desert of New Mexico. As historical researchers and esoteric historians alike have noted, the splitting of the atom did not just usher in the nuclear age, it violently pierced the veil of modern reality. The 1947 UFO wave, including Maury Island, Kenneth Arnold, and Roswell, exploded in the immediate geographic and temporal wake of the Trinity test. Centering heavily around New Mexico and the Pacific Northwest, Hanford nuclear site. In cultural history, the nuclear site became the ultimate threshold, where high technology met the unknown. Much like David Lynch's symbolic exploration in Twin Peaks: The Return, where the 1945 Trinity test physically rips open the fabric of dimensions to release otherworldly entities. The name Trinity carries an inherent occult and scientific weight. The tearing open of reality to reveal a deeper, invisible architecture. In The Matrix, the character Trinity acts as the catalyst who wakes Neo up, guiding him across the threshold via the iconic prompt, "Follow the white rabbit." The structural narrative of The Matrix is fundamentally a transdimensional and Gnostic narrative. The core premise, that physical reality is a simulated construct masking a harsher hyperdimensional truth, directly parallels the high strangeness perspective of UFOs and paranormal phenomena. Ufologists and esoteric researchers have long argued that UAPs operate as interdimensional phenomena that pierce our simulation, our consensus reality. Derived from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, the white rabbit represents the archetype of the psychopomp, a guide that pulls an individual out of ordinary, mundane existence and drops them down the rabbit hole into a bizarre, hidden underworld of truth. The creative minds behind The Matrix and Sense8, Lana and Lily Wachowski, have consistently built careers exploring human consciousness, expanded perception, telepathy, and the fracturing of consensus reality. While their primary philosophical frameworks lean heavily into Gnosticism, Buddhism, cyberpunk philosophy, and transhumanism, their body of work naturally intersects with the concepts driving extraterrestrial and high strangeness narratives. If there was ever any doubt about the Wachowskis' engagement with classic space opera tropes and extraterrestrial life, their 2015 feature film Jupiter Ascending answered it explicitly. The film dives headfirst into the vast hidden cosmic ecosystem, where human life on Earth is merely a small genetically engineered fragment of an ancient, sprawling interstellar civilization ruled by alien corporate dynasties. Rather than focusing strictly on inner-mind landscapes like The Matrix or Sense8, Jupiter Ascending utilizes classic sci-fi elements, interplanetary travel, extraterrestrial harvesting, engineered species, and cosmic hierarchy, proving their fluency in traditional alien universe world building. In Sense8, the concept of the Homo sensorium breaks down the physical boundaries between individual minds. Characters scattered across Mumbai, San Francisco, Nairobi, and Seoul share sensory inputs, languages, skills, and emotional states instantaneously. While framed biologically within the show, this narrative mirrors the exact philosophical core of parapsychology, collective consciousness, and non-local mind theories, often associated with advanced UFO and Contactee lore. The idea that human consciousness is not trapped inside a skull, but is instead an antenna capable of tuning into other frequencies or dimensions, is a foundational theme in both high-end science fiction and paranormal research. The Wachowskis' masterwork, The Matrix, shares a structural DNA with modern UAP paranormal hypotheses. When Jacques Vallée and other researchers suggest that UFOs are not necessarily nuts and bolt spaceships from Mars, but rather a control system, manipulating human perception and projecting a mask over a stranger reality. They are essentially describing a technological matrix. While Lana and Lily Wachowski draw their inspiration more from philosophical literature, comic books, and digital culture than explicit ufology, their narratives occupy the exact same conceptual real estate: the unsettling suspicion that the world we perceive is a curated illusion, and that a hidden layer of reality and intelligence is operating just out of sight. To date, neither Lana nor Lily Wachowski has made any notable or public statements directly addressing UFO phenomena, UAPs, or extraterrestrial life in interviews or press events. While their filmographies, such as Jupiter Ascending and The Matrix, deeply explore cosmic hierarchies, hidden realities, and alternative dimensions, they tend to ground the inspirations for their work in philosophy. Comic books, trans-identity, Buddhism, and literary Gnosticism rather than ufology. Their focus remains squarely on human consciousness, social structures, and existential awakening, leaving the specific nature of UFO phenomena outside their public commentary. From a purely biographical standpoint, film directors and writers draw from a vast library of philosophy, Gnosticism, computer science, and cyberpunk literature. However, creators working at the bleeding edge of speculative fiction often tap directly into the collective unconscious. Just as the human psyche uses archetypes to clothe unknown fears in familiar garments, like the Men in Black, creators shaping stories about awakening from illusions naturally gravitate toward symbols of boundary crossing. Etymologically and symbolically, Trinity represents the union of three forces, the point where duality resolves into a higher dimension. In a narrative about breaking out of a prison grid to discover a vast hidden reality, naming the female lead Trinity acts as a profound metaphor. She is the key, the threshold, and the living embodiment of the bridge between worlds. Whether intentional or a product of deep creative intuition, the alignment is undeniable. The name Trinity, the awakening via the rabbit hole, and the entire framework of breaking through a false reality mirror the exact same frontier explored in UFO and paranormal lore, the terrifying, exhilarating realization that the world we see is only a thin veneer over something infinitely stranger. The convergence between the UFO phenomenon and the philosophy of the Matrix extends far beyond cinematic symbolism or Adamic age history. It manifests most profoundly in the accounts of modern contactees and abduction experiences. When examined closely, the subjective reality reported by those who interact with non-human intelligence mirrors the core premise of a simulated, hyperdimensional, or constructed consensus reality. For decades, researchers like Dr. Jacques Vallée and the late John Mack noted that the UFO abduction experience rarely fits a conventional nuts and bolts space traveler model. Instead, experiences frequently report an altered state of consciousness, often described as Oz factor moments where time dilates. Physical walls seem to become transparent, and the environment takes on a dreamlike, hyperreal quality. Just as Neo discovers that his everyday world as a manufactured construct masking a deeper layer of existence, UFO experiences describe stepping out of normal spacetime into a fluid, malleable environment controlled by an exterior intelligence. Inside craft or during contact encounters, communication often bypasses spoken language entirely, occurring instead through telepathic downloads, vivid holographic imagery, and direct manipulation of the experiencer's neural pathways. The experiencer's mind becomes the interface, much like a hacker plugged directly into the mainframe. Esoteric and advanced ufological theories suggest that interdimensional or extraterrestrial beings do not merely travel across physical space. They project an interactive reality field into human consciousness. The Wachowskis' exploration of virtual reality and human potential, most vividly realized in the collective, non-local consciousness network of Sense8, forces a profound question. Is human interconnectedness merely a brilliant piece of science fiction, or does it mirror actual biological and spiritual evolution? When we bridge the gap between speculative storytelling, the real-world claims of psychics, and the deeply unsettling lore of UFO experiencers, transhumanism and consciousness expansion emerge as the true core narratives of human evolution. From a strict materialist scientific standpoint today, a global telepathic network, like the one in Sense8, remains science fiction. Our current neurobiology lacks a biological transceiver for instant, cross-continental neural linking. However, parapsychology, quantum mind theories, and anomalous human cognition suggest that human potential is vastly undermapped. Real-world adepts, advanced meditators, and individuals with certified extrasensory perception (ESP) routinely demonstrate anomalous cognition, such as remote viewing or non-local awareness, proving that the human mind can occasionally pierce the barrier of isolated spacetime. The director's vision may be a cinematic exaggeration, but it is built upon real glimmers of human latency. The concept of transcending normal human limitations takes a darker, more complex turn within the broader UFO and abduction lore. For decades, researchers have tracked the persistent theme of non-human intelligence, conducting genetic hybridization programs. This trope was famously dramatized by Steven Spielberg in his acclaimed sci-fi miniseries Taken, which traces generations of human-alien experimentation designed to produce a hybrid offspring. In these narratives, hybrid children or advanced contactees frequently exhibit profound psychokinetic and psychic capabilities, most notably the ability to manipulate consensus reality, bend physical rules on a microscale, or project telepathic constructs directly into the minds of ordinary humans. While dismissed by skeptics as modern folklore, this narrative mirrors a deeper philosophical thesis: that evolution is being artificially accelerated, pushing humanity toward a threshold where consciousness directly shapes physical reality. In the real-world accounts of lifelong experiences and high-level psychics, this evolutionary leap manifests as a lived daily reality. Experiences frequently report a fundamental structural differentiation in their cognition. Metacognitive and superintuitive shifts. Many develop an hyper-heightened awareness, seeing through cultural conditioning, reading micro-intentions, and sensing environmental shifts with uncanny precision. Living the dual reality. Much like characters bridging the digital and physical worlds in The Matrix, experiences often describe living a dual existence. They navigate the mundane routines of human society, jobs, families, bills, while simultaneously maintaining an active conscious tether to an interdimensional, non-local reality. Ultimately, whether through the philosophical lens of cinema, the genetic aspirations of sci-fi hybrids, or the lived awakenings of modern experiences, the message is uniform. Humanity is not at the end of its evolutionary rope. We are standing at the edge of a profound metamorphosis, forced to choose whether we remain locked inside the simulation or wake up to the vast, interconnected cosmos. This points to a deeper, more unsettling question. Why are these new archetypes, hybrids, experiences, starseeds, and walk-ins suddenly emerging in such vast numbers across the modern population? When we look beyond nuts and bolts ufology and examine the cumulative lore of contactees, alternative anthropology, and consciousness research, these phenomena are not random anomalies. They represent a coordinated evolutionary pressure pushing humanity toward a radical transformation. Why do experiencers and contactees report sudden, profound shifts in their cognitive and neurological architecture? Individuals in touch with non-human intelligence frequently report an expansion of sensory bandwidth, experiencing non-local awareness, heightened intuition, and direct metacognitive processing. What looks like an abnormality or psychological break to traditional psychiatry is, from an evolutionary standpoint, the hardware of the human brain being forced to upgrade to process higher dimensional data. Within modern metaphysical and fringe sociological frameworks, the surging population of starseeds, star children, and walk-ins describe souls or consciousness matrices, incarnating with pre-programmed templates designed to anchor high-frequency awareness into heavy baseline human biology. Whether taken literally or as profound psychological metaphors for spiritual awakening, these narratives illustrate a collective yearning. Humanity is trying to birth a new type of human capable of operating outside the old paradigm. Every major evolutionary leap in Earth's history required a transitional species to bridge the gap between two worlds. The emergence of the meta-human, or the advanced experiencer, serves a vital cosmic function. They are the translators. At our current stage of development, mainstream human civilization is fundamentally unequipped to comprehend non-human intelligence. Our baseline consciousness is trapped in materialist reductionism, historical amnesia, and institutional control grids. We cannot grasp the true scope of non-human activity or our own deep evolutionary history because our perceptual filters are too narrow. The hybrid, the starseed, and the awakened experiencer act as biological and psychic translators. They hold the foot in both worlds, grounded in human biology, yet wired into the interdimensional, cosmic web. They serve as the necessary bridge, so that humanity does not shatter when it finally confronts the full reality of the cosmos. Modern ufology is frequently misunderstood as a study of flying saucers or government conspiracies. In its truest sense, ufology is a mirror reflecting human evolution in real time. The timeline we have traced, from the nuclear ripping of the veil at the 1945 Trinity test to the 1947 Pacific Northwest wave over Yakima and Maury Island, up to the modern surge of experiencer awakenings, marks the grand transition phases of our species. We are moving away from the destructive, fear-driven paradigm of the atomic age toward a higher frequency, interconnected reality. The appearance of non-human intelligence, the mutation of human consciousness, and the emergence of the new human are all part of the same grand metamorphosis, guiding humanity out of the old matrix and into the dawn of a golden cosmic age. In the matrix, constructs are virtual training environments loaded instantly into the mind. Similarly, thousands of close encounter reports involve scenarios that feel profoundly theatrical, symbolic, or dreamlike, leading researchers to propose that the phenomena use a psychic theater or holographic matrix to communicate messages our consensus-bound brains can comprehend. Just like characters who take the red pill, experiencers frequently describe a permanent fracture in their worldview. Once they perceive the invisible machinery operating just beneath the surface of everyday life, they can never unsee it, living the rest of their lives straddling two worlds: the mundane consensus reality and the vast, unsettling truth of the cosmic web. When the Trinity site detonated the world's first atomic bomb, it did more than alter human history. It violently fractured the fabric of our ecosystem and consensus reality. According to esoteric and alternative historical perspectives, this unprecedented tearing of the atomic veil alerted extraterrestrial and interdimensional intelligence to human activity, signaling that our entry into the nuclear age posed a direct threat to the cosmic web of interconnectedness. The subsequent waves of UAP activity, moving from wartime Foo Fighters and the Pacific Northwest corridors of Yakima to the atomic landscapes of New Mexico and the crash at Roswell, marked the true dawn of the modern UFO era. In this light, the emergence of these anomalous phenomena serves as a profound warning regarding atomic weaponry, with non-human intelligences stepping forward in their own enigmatic way to monitor and guard the fragile boundaries of our realm. To be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archive Cosmic Awakening Volume 1, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact, The Paranormal State. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute hit of real-life experiences, perfect for your daily plunge into consciousness exploration. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's episode.